Hello everyone, I am Gbuilds and welcome to the new video. I know you all have been expecting, but I was just able to upload today. I apologize if I have not been making a video for more than a month now, but I have my reasons. In this video, I will tackle an urban park, an MRT station, and more downtown building to fill the empty areas. This video will be quite long due to a lot of clips, but I won't keep you bored while watching. So now, let's hope you enjoy this video. The first build to tackle is an urban park area in which I give the name as Independence Park because it is built at the time Indonesia has its independence, which is on 17 August. At first, I built the national flag of Indonesia, which consists of red and white color. To add depth to the flag, I used variations of similar color blocks such as bricks and quartz slabs. And I also moved some of the parts into the back. And then I also built like some shops that actually sell some souvenirs, clothes, and other things that I don't even know. And then after building one shop design, I copy it to another places until it reaches 4, which is actually the maximum number of shops that I can actually put in there. As you see, I want to keep it as red and white as possible to represent the country's identity. In this clip, in some of the clips, so you see a loom there, and I actually putting some banners in here. Mostly are red and white banners, but I also include a custom one which includes red and white to represent the countries of Indonesia, its flag. And later on, I built a kind of statue, and it's also a flag. And I also add some of the greenery on the back. Later, I finish it with making a bike parking, and then I continue with the MRT station, which is actually something that is fun, even though this top. So firstly, I actually built the top part of the station, in which it's built on a diagonal, which actually complicates the part, but the end result will actually definitely worth it. This design is actually more like a modern one because it will have a glass facade in the end. But first I need to build like where it is actually connecting. So to go there, you will need to take the stairs or the escalators that are available to you. Then actually build the escalators in a diagonal, which is kind of complicated, but it's actually also fun. So after finish with the entrance of the inside, I continue with the facade. On the outside, I will add some greenery on the side, but first let's continue with the glass first, which is actually gonna be the facade. So based on the design, this is actually pretty modern. The end design is actually kind of looking like an arrow, and this is possibly because it is built on a diagonal and its unique shape. So here it is, the MRT station, but before we continue with further with the interior, I add some bike lanes on bike parkings, on some of the areas to fill the empty areas and to make the city looks walkable. And I also built an Apple store beside it. I know it's kinda weird to build an Apple store, but it turned out to be looking really good, And the color palette mostly are white, using white concrete as well as the black colors. And there are mostly plants over here. Now let's continue with the interior. Yeah, for the interior, I don't really know much about Apple Store that is on shop because I mostly go to Apple Store on the mall. But I can assure you that this design is kinda unique because it involves a glass. And there's not much that I can actually describe about this store anyway. So now let's continue with the MRT station. Now on this MRT station, I initially built up the part first but with shaders, but then when I go down I remove the shaders because wait, why you need shaders? Because it's actually pretty dark. And later on I move on to building the underground station, which consists of train part. So the top one is actually the ticketing part and the entrance, and now is the train part on the side. So I built the template first before actually changing the color to concrete, and I also add some LED screens so that people can actually see the schedule on live. And then I continue with the rail tracks on the side, in which is where the train or MRT will be. Next, I decided to build a barrier between the train tracks as well as the platform, and this is so that the people will be kept safe, because we don't want them to risk falling down into the track. Later on, I also continued the same thing as I did before on the other side. For the MRT station design, is made by Crafty Fox, and I built this before on Bedrock Edition and transported it into Java, and that is why it seems similar. Later on, I will continue with the roof first. For the roof, I added some custom designs and with greeneries, in which hidden behind the greeneries are some additional lightings. And I also add this kind of thing on the side. So yeah, the side also have greeneries, and behind the greeneries there are lightings to just give some lightings into the MRT station, because it's kind of dark as it is underground. And lastly, I built certain design of a unique shape thing, but I kinda don't know what it's about, but it's made of glass and looks pretty cool. Next, I will continue with some buildings in downtown, which is actually this is the edge of downtown before the bayfront. So for the first building, the second one after the third one after the Apple Store as well as the MRT station had, the building will mostly consist of sandstone design. I believe that it's very much unique, and it's characterized as old and historic building. There are actually some clips, and that is actually cut because the planning isn't really good, and I kinda don't really record when I'm actually replanning something. So let's continue with the next building. I also use sandstone for this one, but for the first time again, I include an interior wall made up of pillar quartz, and this really just shapes the building, and it's where I actually gonna put the windows in. Because the building itself is kind of deep, and this is kind of to allow like the use of trapdoors. Okay, next, after done with this building, I cover the top with some prismarine blocks to create a unique roof. And let's continue with kind of the last building in this time lapse, but this won't be the last building that is actually there. I actually gonna do much more buildings, only a little bit. Not really much more, but it will be very much sufficient, and I will end downtown here because I'm kind of sick of old buildings. So for this one, for the last one that uses kind of jungle or acacia leaves, I use the same method as before. However, the building materials are kind of different, just to add some variety. And this one is also on a corner, which allows me to really play with the shape over here. Later, I also gonna do like the walls and the roofs and the floors, just so that it will be very much easier to build later on.
when I gonna do interiors. I don't know when, but I will be doing that. So yeah, we're nearing the end of the time lapse, and now I'm just actually gonna finish with this roof, and later on after this you're gonna see the epic cinematics. So I hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoy this video as I enjoy making it. The next video will be morely about the Bayfront area because I'm kinda sick of downtown and old buildings, and yeah, Bayfront will consist of more or less newer buildings, and see you there. Goodbye.